Hello everyone, and welcome to our new factor. So today we will talk about the telecom industry value factor. It is very obvious actually that the telecom industry value has been shifting, and we've seen that over the last few years, and we're expecting that shift to continue over the next few years as well. This kind of value shifting actually affect the overall industry, affect the overall ecosystem, creates more opportunity, and the mandates change. And we all gotta change, no matter whether we are vendors, operators, or any value suppliers in the ecosystem. So today I wanted to talk about what are those values that have been shifting and how they are shifting. Most important one and the most influential value that's shifting, which is the mobility value. So we've seen now that mobile is everything, and the usage has been shifting from PC or laptop to mobile. So, and that's not only will affect the consumer usage, it will also affect how business is conducted in all other industry. So telecom industry now is not just standing by itself, it's actually affecting all other industries. So from PC to mobile is one value that's shifting. The other value, which is very obvious for us, which is the usage, which is from voice to video. It's clear that it was voice and then text and then data and then now it's video. So from voice to video, that's another value that's shifting. Voice to video actually mandates the change in how we look at the network, and we shouldn't look at it from the quality perspective, from the KPI perspective. We should look at the network end to end as experience. So the shift has been happening from quality to experience. The other one is the traffic. Traffic used to be bits and bytes. It may be minutes. But now the shift has been happening from being traffic-oriented communication to information-oriented communication. So everyone now is thinking about how we utilize this kind of information in transmitting what is necessary to create value for our business. Next one is from pipe to service. Before, it used to be voice, it used to be text, it used to be data, it used to be volume based. Now the whole value is shifting from being pipe or from the operator to be pipe provider to a real service provider, and that's a major shift as well. Now the model of conducting a business has also been shifting from limited relationship to ecosystem. It used to have, the industry used to have relationship between consumer, operators, vendors, maybe the terminal supplier. Now this thing has been changed. It is not isolated relationship, it's an engaging relationship. So now we've seen the ecosystem has been extended to OTT, to internet companies, to e-commerce, to even travel agencies, to even taxi companies, to even everything that we have been using in our daily life has been part of that ecosystem, and that's a major value that's been shifting. So talking about isolated to engaged, limited to ecosystem, what does that mandate? I think it mandates the change from manual to automatic. Automation is major in our industry. Automation is major in our business, not as a luxurious input or a luxurious trend. Automation actually is kind of a mandatory thing, because it will come to a point that we will not be able to manually manage the network. We will need to automatically manage the network. It will come to a point that we cannot manually optimize the service that we're offering. We will have to make it automatic as well. So from manual to automatic in another one. Values actually, it may not be tied up to the operator. It may be actually values that are shifting, that in the form of actions that needed to be done. And from that, I wanted to mention about stable to agile. It was actually funny. Once I met a CTO and he told me that I used to ask my direct reports about a stable network. Now stable network is not needed anymore. Why? Because everything is changing. Maybe today I can provide a service. Maybe tomorrow I will have different services in the network. So the network actually cannot be stable in terms of the KPI. Even the KPI has to be changing. So from stable to agile, that's the key trend that we're seeing right now. The extended ecosystem from stable to agile and all of that thing requires the change of the value from closed to open, and that's also another thing. From B2C to B2X, the business now is not just focused on you as a person. The business now is focused on anything. We can do business with any entity. So the change from telco's perspective, the business that needs to be done from B2C, it has to be conducted also B2X, meaning business to whatever works. Business to consumer, business to household, business to business, business to vertical, business to vehicle, business to government, business to enterprise. All of those things are viable options as well. If that's the change in values in how we use the system, in our behavior, in how the operator needs to act, what is the change in the fundamental layer of the business, which is the network? Network is still the foundation of enabling all of that thing. The fundamental change actually is three major factors. The first one is from single to cloud. It is not as before, the parts of the network used to be silos, like this is the core, this is the access, this is the service layer. The move now is from single-based network build-out to cloud-based network build-out, and that's really important. The value also has been shifting from hardware to software. Hardware now is taken for granted, like COTS, like general purpose hardware that can change by loading the software as a function. Last but not least, all of that change can be summarized into one major value that's shifting. It's from CT or IT as silos to integrated ICT business, and that's a major value that's shifting. So these are the factors that I personally see that's influencing the way that the business is conducted, not just in the telecom business, but also all of other businesses that we do and we experience every day. Now, those values that are shifting, they mandate a change in the operator's strategy. And so if I can summarize the operator strategic moves in order to accommodate those value shifts, it's actually two aspects. Operators need to capture these values, and they also need to create more values for themselves, for their business, for their customers, no matter whether it is consumer or business or any type of customers. So that's the major strategic move from the operator perspective, which is capture the values out there and to go ahead and create more values. So now let's talk very briefly in a minute about what are those fundamental components or fundamental factors of the operator's views or strategic views when they do their business. What should they be? What should they think about? What should they focus on when it comes to conducting their daily business? In the slide in front of you, we can summarize it actually into four major pillars or four major factors. The first two factors, the top factors, are related to the financial health. So they are the top line, which is the revenue, the current revenue, cash flows, and the bottom line, which is the cost. Now, what is affecting the revenue? Well, revenue is affected by the marketing plans. It's mostly actually consumer business right now, and we have to live with this fact that currently majority of the operators, mobile network operator business is consumer based. So what is it that affecting the revenue right now? Well, first of all, the quality of the network. Second, the service that they are offering from the consumer perspective, mainly video, it's affecting the revenue as well. How they are releasing all of the traffic in the network, or how the traffic is locked in the network, it's also affecting the revenue. The marketing plans and how they are riding the waves of the new trend like AR, VR, or like some new games like Pokemon Go, all of those things. These are all affecting the revenue factor of the operator business. The other factor, which is the cost. Cost is not just about OpEx. Cost is about different aspects that really influence the cost factor. So one of them is related to the supply evolution. What are the assets of the operator? Network is a major asset, spectrum is the second one, site is the third one. Those assets need to be optimized, and the usage of those need to be efficient, and we need to capture every single benefit out of those assets, of course in a positive way. Third, or the fourth one actually, which is the future. Value creation, more segments, making more markets for themselves, attacking different markets, home broadband, IoT, OTT. We can make business with OTT rather than competition with them. All of those things will affect the operator business. So anyhow, so to wrap up my talk, so I talked about that the telecom industry now is not just a silo industry. Telecom industry is now valuable to all other industries. That's number one. Number two, I talked about the value that's shifting, and I summarized it actually in about I guess 10 or 12 or values that are shifting. Some of them related to operator, to the way we live. Some of them are related to how operators should act. Some of them related actually to how vendors should act. And the last one, I talked about how these values should affect the operator business pillars or business factors when they need to survive and to have market leadership. So that's it for my presentation today. So until next time, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next